So today we're going to go ahead and look at the Bowman class.
Yali, it's actually called the Bowmaster class?
Hey, Sir Shitston, it really doesn't matter. Nobody's playing this class. Like, who the fuck wants to use a bow and arrow in a game where there's fucking cannons?
I actually really like, I like the Bowmaster.
Of course you do. So, the Bowman, Bowmaster, you douche, is actually a long-range, single-target, sustained DPS class. Now, if that doesn't sound like fun, that's because it's not. It's incredibly boring in a game based on grinding large amounts of mobs at a time, but it's kind of nifty. Anyways, let's go ahead and jump to my least favorite part, the lore. Now, the lore is actually based entirely off of the beginner class, so if you haven't seen that lore, go ahead and click the annotation, because it'll give you more of a rich backstory full of very important details, and you don't have to watch it really. So a lot of people would assume that the Bowman's lore begins when all the explorer classes are going to go ahead and attack the Black Mage for being a scumbag who domestically abused his wife and cheated on her and killed other black mages. But that's not true. The lore actually begins a lot earlier than that. So one day the Bowman comes back from school. He's crying, and his mother's like, "Well, why are you being such a little bitch, Mr. Bowman?" Well, his name's actually Andrew, but we're just gonna call him Mr. Bowman for consistency's sake. Mr. Bowman was like, "Well, I'm being bullied at school." His mother's like, "You know what? Don't worry about these bullies. They're just insecure about their own place in the world, and they're just having an existential crisis, and they're taking it out on you. And one day you'll be something great. So don't forget about that." And then the Bowman's like, "You know what? You're right, Mom." And the Bowman's a little bit of an eccentric. He takes things a little too literally. So instead of just going like, "Okay, I'm gonna go to school and forget about these guys," he runs away and looks for a trainer to become the best warrior of all time. So he actually runs into Athena Pierce. A lot of people don't get it, but Athena Pierce is actually transsexual, so it's kind of missed in her backstory. But don't worry, I'll bring it up here. Athena Pierce trains the Bowman, and then he becomes, in her words, the best warrior of all the time. Again, transsexual, so her voice is a little deeper. And then once his training is done with Athena, he comes back home, and his mom's just like, "Where have you been for the last 20 years?" And the Bowman's kind of like, "Well, I was off being something great, like you said." And the mom's like, I meant a doctor. I meant a fucking doctor. I didn't mean a bowmaster. What the hell? There are guns in the world. Why would you pick to get good at a bow? It doesn't make any sense." And then, the Bowman was like, "Oh, well, I'm just a disappointment." So he runs away from home again, until he meets the Paladin class, and eventually joins up with the rest of the explorers to fight the Black Mage. Yeah, so that's the lore. It's deep, it's rich, and it's better than anything Nexon has ever written. Anyways, let's talk about the skills. So I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. The Bowman is complete ass, just complete ass until 4th job. And even then, it's still boring as hell to play. You're basically standing still for the majority of the time. Your bossing attack is Hurricane, and basically you're supposed to stand still. You stand still and hold down this one key. So if that doesn't seem interesting to you, you just stop watching this. Tab out, go to Spank Bang or Pornhub or something. Just get out of here. There's no point in being here. Next, you got Arrow Stream, which is your basic mob attack that hits 4 lines or 5 lines once it's hyper skill or something like that. I don't even know. But it's boring because every class in the game has a skill like this, and it's just so lackluster. Nexon, get creative. And then, of course, there is Sharp Eyes, which is just a big critical damage buff to everyone in the party. Yippee. So is the Bowman worth playing? Maybe. They have a lot of damage, but they're so fucking boring. They're so boring. They're the most boring class I've ever played. I cannot stress that enough. They're so fucking boring. But if you want to do a shit ton of single target damage, this is pretty good. Pretty good. But if you enjoy life and having fun, then stay away from the class. It's garbage.